OMG 2 is a bad sequel. Let's discuss. Now, what do I mean when I say that OMG 2 is bad? What it means is that it fundamentally misunderstands the purpose of having OMG in front of it and makes a movie that should have actually been called Jolly OMG 3 Diet version. Let's first talk about the first movie, where I want you to imagine one thing. The movie without the character of Lord Krishna played by Akshay Kumar. Hard to imagine, right? The reason for that is quite simple. Our protagonist doesn't believe in God. And if you yourself do not believe in one thing, then no matter what the world tries to explain to you, you will not change your stance. But what if the very thing that you didn't believe in came in front of you? Well, then there's no way for you to deny its existence. And that's exactly what happens when Lord Krishna appears in front of Kanji Lalji Mehta. Now compare that with the second film. Can you imagine the movie without Akshay Kumar playing the messenger of Lord Shiva? Yes, you absolutely can. Just replace Akshay with Dr. Gagan, played wonderfully by Brajendra Kala. Sure, you might need to change the third act a little bit so that Kanti does not get revived and makes minor changes, but the core theme and ethos of the movie would still remain the same. But fine, let's say that you really do want to include Akshay's character. Well, then you must change the character of Kanti to make sure that he does not start believing Akshay instantly. Because in the movie, Kanti is shown to be a very religious person. But what if Kanti was an atheist with a conservative mentality? Then it would make perfect sense for Akshay's character to get introduced to help Kanti to understand the error of his ways, to make him more liberated and convert him from atheist to religious person, and to make him understand the importance of sex education as well. But as is in the movie, there isn't any tangible tension between our main duo for me to latch onto or for me to get connected. And that brings me to my second point. Tension. In the first film's first act, there was a mortal danger to Kanji Lalji Mehta's life. And even after Lord Krishna gets introduced, we are still looking into the schemes of the enemy faction, because of which there was always a looming threat over the audience, where we were always second-guessing ourselves to make sure that nothing happens to our core duo. Compare that with the second film. There is no real danger to Kanti's life. Sure, he gets ostracized from the society and needs to live somewhere far off, but because of Kanti's carefree attitude and just this overall nonchalant nature, there is no real tension for me to get attached to the family or the issues that they are facing, which makes the struggle feel less important and more Bollywood-like. The music is another avenue where I feel the movie just doesn't hit the bull's eye. The first film, on top of being fantastic, has probably the most famous flute composition out of any Bollywood movie. The songs are also used wonderfully well and help create that religious nature. Compare that with the second film, where Yami Gautam or any antagonistic force is given a very cliched background score. The songs and the score is used in such an overbearing way in OMG 2, where it took me out of the scene rather than indulging me in it. Just my taste, but the score just isn't that fantastic. And finally, it's the messaging. The movie talks about sex education, and in the world of OMG 2, by the climax, everything becomes hunky-dory. But when you compare it with the real world, you start to realize that this movie is not going to have any impact whatsoever. Because if social messaging commercial movies could actually bring about a change in society, then Three Idiots would have actually made a change in suicide rates or even peer pressure, not just the memes. On a side note, if you want to understand how a movie can actually bring about a change in society, watch a short film about killing by Krzysztof Kieślowski. On top of being a 10 out of 10 masterpiece, the movie changed Swedish law in such a way that is just fascinating to look at. Highly suggested to check it out and understand how a movie can actually bring about a change for regular people. Back to the topic, as I said earlier, OMG 2's messaging just isn't clear enough or is way too Bollywoodized. Is that a word? Maybe. Or maybe it's given such a dreamlike flavor that it just doesn't work when you come out of the theatre. Now, OMG 2 isn't the worst movie of all time, so it must have some positives, right? Fortunately, it does. The acting is not to be faulted at all. Like, you expect Pankaj Tripathi, Yami Gautam and Brajendra Kala to give out powerful performances, but it's Akshay Kumar who quietly steals the show, giving out a surprisingly subdued and understated performance, where after so many years, I was seeing Akshay the actor and not Akshay the khiladi. All in all, the set design and production design also leave no stone unturned, where I was completely enchanted by the world created of Ujjain and surprisingly feeling the holiness behind the frames as well. These two aspects barely scrape the film and are able to salvage it just by a tiny bit. All in all, OMG 2 is a below average successor to a previous film that was path-breaking in so many ways. So yeah, those were my thoughts on OMG 2. If you like this video, do like it, comment down below what you thought about this film, subscribe for more such video film essays and my thoughts on movies, and I'll see you guys in the next one.